Welcome back to the channel. We're giving you an update today on what we've done to the 69 Mustang Fastback. Last time you may have noticed we were working on getting the front aprons and frame rails installed. We've done that. We have the torque boxes on the right and left. Here's the one on the left. And they're welded in. They're welded on three planes on each side to the frame rails, rocker rails of the car, and also to the new frame rails. We got all our measurements like we wanted them, and everything has worked out pretty well. We also placed the floor supports in and got our measurements correct there. And we also, or I also, took the new floor pan for the floor of the car, and we did a test fit inside the car. It slid right in at the lower base of the windshield. And we fogged in the bottom to get our reference marks for the different plug weld holes we were going to have to drill. And I drilled a total of about 175, and we have welded it in. So you bring it right here and just look in, just a quick peek inside the car. It's not through yet. We've got most of the welds ground down. Got the seat platforms in, and we're working on the back. We'll grind this down. We will seal the different seams. We'll put some seam sealer on it. Then we will paint it the red primer that it originally came from the factory. As an added thing I'll do with this car is I will use a Noise-X mat on the floorboards and usually on the wheel wells, and we will that'll cut down on the noise and vibration a great deal on the car. One thing we'll also do is, you see where the pass through into the trunk area, the gas tank is gone, but the gas tank in these cars actually forms the floor of the trunk. And that is a fairly unsafe method of designing the fuel system. What has happened in the past is, as the fuel line comes in, the back of the car right here, it attaches to a gas tank back here, and there's a rubber piece of rubber hose, probably 3.5 inches in diameter, maybe 2.5, that attaches to the gas tank. The problem is that in case of a rear-end collision, usually it pushes this panel forward, disconnects it from the gas tank, and if the gas tank is pressurized or bent or collapsed at all, fuel has a tendency to splash out or be pushed out, and you're at the benefit of a combustion process. What I have done in several other cars is actually the pass-through right here, and there is one there if it's a coupe or if it's a fastback. It was pretty much the fashion of this era of this pony car, is to create a fold-down rear seat and have a pass-through. You know, it had a small trunk, so it actually gave a little more cargo hauling ability to the car, and I guess that was a marketing thing. But this had it. The Barracuda over there, it actually, the back pass-through door laid down and actually created about 7.5 foot of a useful space between the maybe 7 foot between the behind the back seat. This one, the actual door that here, it pivots forward like this, just to give the illusion of more space. But what I have done on several cars is actually put a metal partition. I usually weld it in. I guess you could screw it in if you're so inclined. From here across to here, up in here too, and then actually using seam sealer creates sort of a, I don't want to say an airtight space, but something that's not prone to splash, because if the gas tank is ruptured during a rear end collision, you're in a bad way. It may give you an extra half second to get out of the car if you can. It also, as an added benefit, it greatly increases the torsional stability or rigidity of the car, and it quietens it down a lot to me. So I'll be doing that on this car too, just for safety's sake. Now it will eliminate the fold up portion of the fold down rear seat, and therefore, I guess if you're hauling skis or 2x4s, you may not be able to do so. But I think the added safety factor of doing that partition between the trunk and the passenger compartment greatly outweighs any loss that you might have as far as cargo capacity. So we'll be doing that, but we'll finish the floorboard in there, get that painted and looking pretty decent. Then we'll cover it all up. The next thing we'll be doing is we'll be pulling this. We'll be pulling this fender off, and this fender has some very thick Bondos, probably 3/8 of an inch thick right here, and it's actually joined right down here to the old fender with the new fender with some sheet metal screws. That's got to come off. So we're going to be replacing the rear taillight panel, the lower valence, just because we want to, and this fender quarter right here. This actually is welded in through spot welds, and it's sort of this angle right here and down the windshield, the rear back glass channel, and then it goes around to the trunk surround, and then it's welded in at the bottom here and the side here of the B pillar, lock pillar, and then underneath. And the one that was put on there years and years ago was done very poorly, and it was just done very quickly. So we're going to be fixing that. Now I'm not sure where I'm going to cut this. I'd ideally love to have this one off, but drilling out every one of these spot welds around the back glass surround may be too much. I don't know. I haven't got involved with it yet. I'll look at it, and if I can do that, I will. But we'll do that, and we'll splice it in without costing too much disruption in the lines of the car. But it'll look right when we're finished. The other side will have to actually the trunk drop-offs on the lower quarter behind the wheel need some work, and we'll fix that too. Anyway, that's where we're at so far. Okay, today we got the cam in. I ordered this in. When I ordered this from Summit, they said it wouldn't be shipped until the end of November. I called Howard Cams, who made it, and they said they were that far behind. Then I changed the number to the street version of the cam for the 351 4-barrel motor, 10.7, and I don't know, but it's just that was what that helped it come in a little sooner. Not sure. I did call Cam Research, and I was going to get them to grind me a cam, but they can't get cores or blanks anymore. But they are going to be getting this cam to break it in with the lifters. So let's go ahead and open it up and just look at it. I always love opening up boxes. We'll leave it in the box. No, we won't. We'll take it out of the box. Okay. lifters. I'll take it out so you can see it. There you go. Now, this is a fairly mild cam, since this will be driven by the family of this Mustang. I don't need anything real wild in it. I just want something basically stock like Ford put in it. And this was very close to the C9 OE A cam. I may have some numbers off there, but there's an A cam and a C cam. C cam is a little more radical, not a lot radical, but the A cam is real close to this cam right here. Anyway, I'll send it out to Scott at Cam Research. Let him check it. Let him break it in. We'll get the lifters and the cam back in a couple weeks. And the lifters will be numbered when where they go in the engine. And that will eliminate the not high RPM, the 2,500 RPM break-in procedure that you got to go through with cams, because you can wipe a load very easily on these cams if you don't break them in properly. That's the story so far. Let me see, these little white pucks need to go in. All right, so we'll pack it up, send it to Scott, and let him work his magic with it, and we'll get it back. We should be getting the heads back. They had to replace the valves and the heads, resurface the heads, and we should be getting the heads and the block and the crank polished back probably next week. And depends on how the body work goes or how my welding goes. We may take a break and put an engine back together. Anyway, so it's always nice when something arrives in the mail. Thank you. We'll probably be messing with the engine a little bit next. The next video too, you may see we'll have the engine getting ready to assemble it. We have had sent it to the machine shop. It's been cleaned. New cam bearings have been put in it. We have new bearings. We have new rings. We have our cam back from Cam Research. You may see it's the box there in front of you. It's a Howard cam, which is the copy of the cam that came out of this engine when it was new. We have the heads redone, new valves, new guides, well, we didn't put seats. We're not going to be driving this car enough, so we're not going to be using hardened valve seats on it. We'll be doing that and getting the engine ready. Then we'll get it all painted, put together, and we'll put a cover over it and set it aside and mess on something else. But that's where we're at. If you have any comments or questions, I'll be happy to try to answer them. And if you have any comments or suggestions, I would love to hear them. That will give us a chance to improve what we're doing here. But I do appreciate you tuning in and watching this and keeping up with it. If you're a repeat viewer, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What is this? What is it? A tree?